About it after class?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have stuff to
I just did.
Okay, Andrea? Yeah.
Wait, did he mark off
Jake.
like his
Mariana?
Because he marked off
I'm
like
getting
his
them. Rebecca, Sean, Avery, Tanisha,
Oh, wait.
Brendan,
He's not. It's the same thing. It's not. It's not a different.
Michelle? No? Okay, Shay, Noah, Samara. Okay, so Brendan, Michelle, Giselle, Michaela. Oh, you here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold your name, please.
I was in the bathroom.
Okay, Michaela and. Okay, everybody else got it?
So glad. Yeah.
Okay, great. No, it's just more.
We'll make a different theme. Not the same for this one.
Okay. Did you all do the reading?
I did. I managed to do it this time.
That's good. It was quick.
I know.
Come on.
I'm just like,
What are they, man?
Okay, what did y'all think about it?
What would we think of what?
The reading!
I'm sorry, I was kidding. I was mad.
I think like
Yeah.
it really helps for people that struggle with making their songs connected and musical rather than just singing notes.
Right.
So that's what I got out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for my thing for teaching this class, I don't want to just teach you how to IPA English, because you will never use that again in your life. Okay. No, I mean, you will use it, but it's a tool to be able to demonstrate what you're doing in your music, and to be able to understand what we're actually doing with our consonants and our vowels, and how we're tuning them to different languages and all that. So the reason you learn this when you're in undergraduate school is because that you can differentiate French from German, from English, from Italian, and it's really easy to do that with IPA rules. When you go into the bigger world or whatever, you know how we talked about how there were the 3 levels of diction? Like the first one is just kind of getting the sounds right for the language, the second one's kind of getting the syntax right, and then the third one's getting the grammatical phrase structure and everything, right? And so we're kind of learning the first one, but in English diction, for us, because we're native speakers, most of us, we really want to understand how we use that in the music, right? So my point, everything I'm teaching about the shadow vowels and expressive doubling and inclusions and things like that, that's all things we want to use in our music. And she talks about them in the chapter. She just doesn't call them by the same names because this book is 45 years old. So, cool. What else did we get out of it? Did anybody like the way she wrote it? With the platonic dialogue? Do y'all know about that? So the way that somebody's asking questions and then somebody's answering.
oh yeah, I
It's-
enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I've never seen that.
You've never seen it?
Not in diction literature.
Oh,
Do you know what I
okay.
mean? It's a very old school.
I like that. I like that different
kind of helps you
perspective, them asking questions and another person giving a response. It's cool to see different things of views. I guess,
And
Yeah, what they kind of cared about, So you'd have the composer talking and then the conductor talking and
Yeah.
how they would have different points.
the teacher and the coach talking.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Because we all see all of those people around here, right? So Dr. Miller conducts you in choir, right? So you do that. You get your coaches are kind of like the pianists that you work with, and they're going to have different focuses than your voice teacher would, and audience members and professional performers. It was interesting when she would have the professional performers because they always think that they're too good for diction class, right? So that's kind of the way that she was painting that. But cool. All right. So the 7 steps she had was to begin with the text, to mark overall stresses, and speak the melodic line, sing the melodic line, match that to the music, develop your legato, and then to add the accompaniment. And these are sort of steps you all are probably sort of familiar with in songs that you learn, right? You first want to begin with the text. You have to be able to say sometimes you'll start with the notes, right? So we'll go through and we'll start the notes. Or we'll begin with the text and how to say it, what we're going to do with the diction. And that's a lot of what we do in here. We get our stresses, and then we speak that in rhythm to melodic lines. Do y'all do that in choir or anything?
Yeah.
In your lessons? I know I make my students do it, but yeah, okay. Just laugh. Okay. And then you match it to the music. And you know, she had a lot of points about like not accenting high notes that were after lower ones, or the composer's talking about how you could have an important word actually come at the lower part of a phrase. What was it, going into something about deep, I think? Sleep. And then the line was going down, but they were asking why is that not a higher note, because it's more important, but you can, the way you use your diction can kind of bring that out, right? And then we develop our legato, so a lot of that would be using shadow vowels, how we're going to do our expressive doubling, those sorts of things, so that we make sure that our breath is going all the way through our phrases. I know in studio class today, our group spent a lot of time talking about that, and we seem to, I don't know if the other group does, but we like to talk about legato a lot. And then we add the accompaniment once we have all of those elements in place, right? So that was kind of a good guide to how this helps you with your songs. All right. So then, before we move on, okay, I want to give you your assignments. So this is the in-class singing that's happening next week, right? Since you're going to pass it around. And this is kind of a guide that I want you to follow. So we need to have our original text written down with the IPA, and then we want to include some of the technical things that we've been talking about, like the shadow vowels and the expressive doubling and all that kind of stuff. That I listed all out in there. So I'm gonna wait till everybody gets one. Take a second. Huh? Yeah.
$3, maybe more. 5, 6, 7.
Very
A
college.
lot.
Very,
Yeah.
I've
So
got
we
my
have
own
no
printer.
money.
I know. I'm in college too. Okay. The
I guess you don't get one.
I am.
Womp womp. Darn, we
Oh,
have
okay.
Okay, so we need that many copies, and I actually made, because I could have made you bring like 25 or however many people we have in class, but I'm gonna have you all share them. Okay. So I raised it from what was on the syllabus because there are more people in this class than I thought were originally. Okay. Yeah.
Also, if somebody needs a printer, I have one, and I will charge you way less than the school does.
So everybody just email them to Jake, and he'll spend all week printing them out.
Well, it won't take that long either, because I can do other stuff and just let my printer go, because I got two.
That's true.
Well,
Okay.
thanks.
So does anybody have any questions? Please read through it, and we're all clear about what we need to do.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Library costs 10 cents, so it might cost like 3.
Fair.
You have to have a copy of the music for your accompanist. Andrew is playing, so if Andrew's not your accompanist, you need another copy. Okay. Yes. Sorry, it's just one person. You could ask if Dr. Hunt has your music, you could get your music from him and give it to Andrew. So you don't have to. Sorry?
13 or 11?
I need whatever I wrote down. I wrote 11 on the syllabus and I raised it because there's more people
Okay.
in the class. Okay.
And then as far as, so make sure you probably have plurals, shadow vowels, implosions. You want to just mark it up, or I'm not really understanding.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we go through the IPA, about exactly how to show that. Okay. Or to like circle that, like I want to do this here, you could just like circle and write like implosion if you really need to.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, no.
Will you be judging us on our singing?
No. So I'm judging you on your diction, but you have if you can't sing the song, I will be judging you on that. Does that make sense? So you have to have your pitches and rhythms right, and then it's about diction after that. Okay? It's like a coaching. So I'm not going to be teaching you technical stuff. It's only going to be about your diction. Yeah.
So,
No, and we're all going to talk as a class and see like what we can do, and the things that we've learned in here is what we're going to be talking about. Okay? It's not about if your high note sounds good or not, but it's diction based, right? Okay. That is something I want to clarify. Yeah.
and we write.
Do you not have your own copy of
I
this?
have this one.
Okay.
Do you want us to? Are we like typing it out, or are we just writing it?
You can write it or type it.
Okay.
If you type it, make sure you use the right symbols. And you can find them on that typeipipa.org website. And it has a whole keyboard that you can find them
And
on.
if we write it out, do you want us to write 13 pages?
You write one and you copy it. Or
Oh my
copy it.
god.
We can do that too, if y'all wanna get technical.
Do we still need to go through this? So just make sure it's legible, okay? It's gotta be legible, and make sure you put your brackets around your IPA. Okay. No, you can use your music, but remember that it's diction based. So if you're using your music and you're like,
You have to be
you know, that's not gonna fly. Okay, do you know what I mean? So you have to know the song. And your teachers and you all have known about this for a while, right? So I'm assuming that you all are prepared enough to sing this in diction class.
Yeah, I got mine the first week.
Well, awesome. We'll find out. Okay, any more questions? No, okay. So this is the take-home test for you all. It's not that bad.
Hurry up.
Okay, it's two pages, and it didn't print with staples, so make sure you take both of them, okay? I'm gonna pass it around with the stapler. Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is that there's two poems that you have to IPA and write in things like the shadow vowels and that kind of stuff like we're gonna talk about today, okay? So there's two whole poems. It's one that long on the bottom, and then it's one that long. Okay?
Okay, the whole thing?
Yep. It is a lot of words, but it's your test. You also get 3 weeks to do it.
Oh, okay, right.
Holy cow, are you serious?
Yeah. So you get this week, you get the week next week. So next week we have class on Monday that we're singing in, and then you get spring break. And it's due on the Monday after spring break.
Somebody's gonna wait until Sunday.
You're singing next week. You all gotta sing. Guys, can we be quiet? Thanks.
I have work with my professor, my English, I have work with Italian, but not the English. Can I take one of the ones from last semester?
For the English?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. But just make sure that you're like ready to sing it and everything, and that you do the diction stuff. So you have to IPA that song, right? Because we're all going to be looking at the IPA while you're singing. Because I'm going to put it on the docket. Okay? It's American. We've only learned American. Oh, sorry. So we've only done, this is your American song, and then when we learn British, we're doing a British one too, okay? The British one happens a lot faster, right? Okay, so that will happen, we only have like 3 weeks, I think, before you do the performing, after we get back from spring break, okay? Everybody savvy? Great, okay, back to the test. So,
Wait,
IPA, the whole thing,
Okay.
and I want you to use all these like technical applications that we had, and I want you to put probably at least 20 of them per poem. Okay, so there's going to be a lot, and most of them are going to be shadow vowels. Okay. Well, I'll show you. Speaking the text out loud will help you a lot in this, because you'll be able to hear how the sounds are supposed to work. Because these poems are not actually set to music, right? So if you oralize them so that make actual sound with them, you'll be able to hear where you need to put the diction stuff in, okay? Good. So there's all that. Then there's 2 other sections. So for each one, I want you to do a poetic analysis of using the terms that we talked about in class. That's about 200 words or a little bit more. Okay, so that's like a little less than a whole page typed for each poem of that. Okay. So you're going to write like a poetic analysis about what you think it's about, what sorts of poetic tools that the poet was utilizing. It's number 4. Okay. So it's like a little mini essay. Just remember to support your claims with things that we talked about in class. You can like look online for ideas about what the poem's about, but remember that it's your analysis. Okay? Don't copy somebody else's. I will know. Trust me. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Good. Support your claims. Okay. And then for the next one, I want you to choose one poem and write the same kind of like a 200-word thing about how you would choose to set it to music.
Whoa.
like you were a composer, okay? So you would pick like your high point and your low point, or how you might like want to decide to paint the text, like what key you would use. I put a whole ton of questions in there. You could probably pick one and write 200 words on it. You know what I mean? Okay? I know it seems like a lot of work, but you have 3 weeks to do it. Okay? And it'll really solidify like the things we've been talking about in class and how it works in real world applications. Okay, is that clear to everybody?
Yes, you like the closest thing I got to a real college student.
You know what? That's what I was going for. Okay, yeah.
I don't know, I don't remember if this vote me or not, but which one is the one that I guess that I would be doing on the this one?
No, that dude. That one. First
This
one.
one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
We actually set this to music, and we have to write.
If you yes. Because it's about the poetry and like what kind of things you're gonna do. Okay? It's not so bad. So you talk about like where you might want to, so if there's like a word that's like really, really painful that you think you really, really want to bring out, you can talk about that that's something you want to bring out and why. You don't need to say that I'm going to use like a 7 diminished 7th chord, go into modulating chromatically to whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. Because that will get really boring. But yeah.
But can we get extra credit if we compose something to the poem?
No, you'll just get my admiration. Okay. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Okay, so if you have any questions, make sure you ask me, because it's a long time from when I'm giving it to you until it's due, and it's over spring break and all that stuff, so just make sure, just send me an email, okay? I'll try to be in touch with you.
No, that's mine.
I mean, you see me, but
Are we gonna do that for both poems?
Why are we so loud or
the
something?
composition thing, you just pick one.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to do a poetic analysis for both of them, that has to be at least 200 words, and you have to put the word count at the end of it, okay? Because that's the way I get away with making sure it's 200 words.
Was it like an optional?
Otherwise you'll like change your font and everything, huh?
Was it like an optional thing?
Yeah, so you just go in Word and it's like a tool, you go word count, you see what it says, and then you just write however many it was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So,
And-
so you said, sorry, the analysis is for both.
Yep, so you do 2 analyses, and then you do 1 composition essay. You pick whichever poem you want to do. Okay?
Oh, okay, so we ain't gotta do an analysis of both of them.
No,
Okay, alright.
wait. You have to do a poetic analysis of both of them.
Alright,
The composition that you're going to make up in your head about how you want to poetically paint the text, you only have to do for 1.
alright.
Okay? So there's like 3 essays. Is that clear? Okay, and plus the IPA thing for everything. Okay?
Yay.
So this is
You all can do it. You get 3 weeks. It'll be really good. And remember, you have all of the tools, you know, so just those, the assignments that I gave you cover everything that we talked about in class. And so if you're like, I can't remember what my diphthong is going to be, you can go through the assignment and look at what it was. Okay, it's not going to be too bad. Because it's open book, right? Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the test, and for poetic analysis, you were doing them for both poems. Do you want them each 200 words or 200 words?
Yeah, each 200 words.
Oh, thank you.
So you can go decide, like, I'm going to talk, so in the poem we just did, the Stopping by Woods and Snowy Evening, you can talk about the relevance of snow, and then like how it falls in stressed or unstressed syllables, or where it is in open or closed couplets or something like that, right? So there's a lot you can pull out of like, 200 words isn't really that long, is it?
That's like a paragraph or 2. Yeah.
It's like a third, 3/4 of a page double spaced, which is not. Just remember to support your claims, okay? If you're like, I like snow. I remember once when I was growing up in Minnesota, there was a Halloween where I had to wear a snow costume because it snowed, there was a blizzard. That's not relevant, right? Okay, it always has to be relevant to the piece. Is that clear?
You don't wanna know about our Halloween costume?
No. I mean, I'd love to hear about it, but not in your test. Okay, so there's a couple rules too. I just want to make sure that those are clear. It's open book, so you can use all of the resources that I've given you for everything. But you are supposed to do it on your own. Okay? Do not cohort with each other. I will know because they will be carbon copies of each other and I can pick it out, okay? Okay, you can utilize dictionaries and online resources, so you can look up the poem, you can read what other people had to say about it, you can look something up in a dictionary, but make sure you use our rules for the IPA because dictionaries use different systems of IPA, okay? And specifically for things like diphthongs, with like the A diphthong, a lot of dictionaries just write E, okay? So I'll know if you used a dictionary definition because it'll be the wrong IPA, okay? You can also look up like word stress and things like that if you can. There's also some words in there that like we never use in real life, so you probably want to look those up. Good, remember, while you may research the poems and their meaning, your interpretation and defense of their interpretation using the devices we learned in class should be your own. So everything is your unique thinking, okay? I can't stress that enough. Because I'm trusting you guys to do this on your own. And if you don't do it on your own, you're just cheating yourself out of all the work that we've done so far.
You talking about the uniqueness for the composition?
All of it.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure you do the work on your own.
Alright.
And then it will be unique, right? You can't help it.
Mr. Ben, do you want us to dress up on Monday? Okay.
Well, I
have
have
to
a performance hour that day anyway, so I already.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe. Or
Alright, so then we had some people that wanted to talk a little bit about the poem I gave you all. Does somebody have like a clear... So the biggest thing I heard was that people were confused about couplets. Is that right? Okay, so couplets are 2 lines of text, and they're open or closed, and the idea is that they relate to each other. And so identifying something as a couplet is using it for an explanation of what the poem is about, okay? So if we were gonna read the poem, I'm just gonna read it for you. First stanza. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. That's a complete thought, so that's probably a couplet. And the reason it's a couplet is because those 2 phrases relate to each other and it sets up what's going to happen afterwards. So if I was going to talk about a poetic analysis about this poem, that's the sort of thing I would talk about. I think this is a couplet because these ideas relate to each other. It's closed because it has a period at the beginning of the first one. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. So that's a different idea, right? So you could say that's a couplet. Some other people said that the middle 2 lines were a couplet. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here. That's not one idea, right? So I wouldn't label that as a couplet. And it's not going to help my interpretation of what I'm looking at either, right? Yeah.
What's the difference between a couplet and an enjambment?
So the enjambment's when it runs on. Like when it doesn't have it, it's an open couplet. Yeah.
So there isn't a period.
Yeah, or a comma. So like the only others sound the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. That is enjambment.
Oh.
Or he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. That's enjambment. It's part of the couplet. The enjambment is where it moves on to the next line in the same sentence. Okay. It's a fancy word to describe something that, meaning, so like if I was reading this, I wouldn't go, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. I would say, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake, because it keeps going, right? Yeah.
So to clarify, a couplet is just only 2 lines. They usually rhyme, and they're of a different, and if both lines stop, then it's a closed couplet, and if they do not stop, then it's an enjambment.
Yeah, or open.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so all of that has to do with the poetic meaning of what that group of words is trying to say, right? And that's why it's important. Is that clear to everybody? It's just
I know what I got wrong on the
yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to be super strict about that because a lot of people were asking me questions about it, so I won't. That means that I didn't explain it well enough, right? That happens.
Yeah,
I know.
Whenever you do that homework, like at first I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, So we all understood it was 4 stanzas, right?
Yeah.
Open, close. The rhyme scheme, did you all get the rhyme scheme?
Yeah.
I
A,
am.
A, B, A, B, B, C, D, C, C, G, C.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you put it in.
Yeah.
Iambic tetrameter.
You just-
I mean, I got it right, but I just put it, I put rhyme, unrhyme.
So you didn't get it right.
I mean, I got the rhyme scheme right, but I didn't like notes right.
Okay. Yeah, you do like A, B, A. Like, you know, like A, B,
Okay,
C, D, C, D.
yep, makes sense, I'll do that.
Yeah. Good. What else do we have in here? Consonants and alliteration and assonance. So remember, all those are devices used by the poet to bring out certain words. The one I really had was whose woods. That's kind of together. It doesn't have to be the whole line. It has to be enough. So there's not like a right or wrong answer to that. I would put whose woods because it's the first 2 words of the poem. And so if I was describing my poetic analysis of this, I would say whose woods these are. I think I know. I would say that those consonants for me really bring out those first 2 words and kind of like start this for me. So I could use that in a poetic analysis, right? Yeah.
Would you add the word these, like whose woods these are?
No, because it doesn't have the same consonants. Whose woods. Those are both kind of hui kind of sounds.
Okay.
Yeah. The other ones we had were the only others sound, because those are ow, ooh, ooh kind of words. And remember, they can be close. They don't have to be exact.
Okay.
Watch his woods. There was another one I had. Ooh, I don't remember where it is off the top of my head. But makes sense? You'll see that really obviously in some of the examples I gave you on the test. Okay? It'll like really stick out. Good. Substitution. I don't think we had any in that poem.
I don't think there was.
Yeah. It was kind of a trick question.
Kind of.
And a poem. Yeah. Tetra. I am a tetra. Good. Everybody feel okay about that? We just gave Debbie all the answers.
Yeah, I couldn't write fast enough.
I'm recording it again. You can watch it.
Oh, good.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's do. We're gonna IPA together.
Thank God, that's good.
Where's my mic?
I'm sorry.
I've never used this doc cam, so we're gonna see. You know what? I'm just gonna do it on the board. This is stupid.
Well, I've never seen anybody use one.
I'm gonna do it.
That's because you didn't go to public school.
I've been here for 3 years. I think my shirt has one of those things, and nobody ever uses them.
Any markers? So we had stanzas 1 and 3, right? All right, so we're going to IPA. Dun, dun, dun. Do you guys want yours back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Oh gosh.
Well, I mean, it might be a little bit time.
Yeah, we just gotta do it quick. Okay. Daniela?
Daniel.
Michelle? She gave it.
She told me to give it to you.
Okay. Jake?
Wait, I'm not-
Yeah, mine's typed out, so.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just
Come get it.
Celeste.
Yes,
Well, he said that he was handing it to Sean and then he stopped handing it to Sean.
Ashlyn.
And he just, and he started-
Wait, no, it's gonna be first. What's happening?
a little confused.
Okay, you guys gotta promise me you're not just gonna write all this down. Okay, Anna. Giselle.
So it's the same like Italian dictionary, you just bracket that phrase, not the each word bracket.
Right. Yep. You just bracket the phrase.
Give it to me because I don't trust you.
So I was in the right. Okay, good. I'm gonna have a complex about it.
I mean, okay.
You had the chance to say
Marietta.
that earlier.
I didn't trust you with my stapler.
I didn't trust you with my paper.
Get out.
That's fair.
Adriana.
Stapler right here.
Shay. Rebecca, can you Avery, give it. Whose is this?
No.
That. Let me see it.
That would be Brendan.
It's not mine, but I think it's Brendan's.
Did you just decide not to come?
He has
Yeah,
work.
he said he
There
was
you
on.
go.
Sean!
Why is that so hard?
My dad.
So far.
The staple.
Just
Sorry.
No, it's not. You can staple it like this.
I'm gonna
but
trust
then
you,
they
Michelle.
stapled it.
Where are you?
You can staple it like this. It's not that far
Ashlyn,
into it.
did you?
I'm
No,
not
that's-
stupid.
No, that's
Hey,
the song.
Oh.
stupid.
I thought it was
Stupid.
Did the song already?
Awesome. Did everybody get this back?
I thought it was due today.
Okay, good.
That's why, I thought it was due today.
Same.
That works out too.
Page turns perfectly.
Okay. So let's do this all together. Where did my
What was I talking about before?
So we put our brackets, right? What do we start with?
H U Z.
H.
Okay. Whose? So we get and then Z, right? Why is that a Z?
Because. Sounds like.
Preceded by now.
Yeah.
Preceded by vowel. Yep.
Good job, Jay.
Good. Awesome.
Something.
No, I think you guys are gonna know it. Okay, what's
Yeah.
W. The U.
Oh my gosh.
who is telling me that's horny you?
Look at me.
Excuse me.
And then the, yeah, that. Oh,
Not sh,
yeah, that's all.
because that'd be whoosh.
Okay.
That's not an English word, right? Okay. These. So what is TH voiced or unvoiced?
Voice.
Voice, right? And so the voiced syllable is this guy. These.
The I.
So that one looks nothing like that word.
No.
Okay, R.
A R.
A under R.
R they.
Upside down.
Hard.
We've got a better option for that.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, we do the schwa. Because it's diphthong, right?
Oh, the wrong side?
That's the appropriate way to do it,
Yep.
Is it supposed to be spaced out like that?
Nope. That's just been good.
huh? So the upside down R.
Because that was one of the schwas we had, right? Or the diphthong R colored schwas. Yep. R.
Are we not supposed to fix it?
I
No.
is
Oh, they
A. With the capital I think.
yeah. And then think. So do we voiced or unvoiced TH?
It's
Unvoiced.
Okay.
Zinc. Who's with the Zinc? I think.
And then the India, then
The yin thing, the eng
That's
and then the K.
thing. Good?
And then sing.
Wait. Time out. Why would it be an Enya?
Thing. Because it's not thin,
Think. Think.
right?
But Enya was an NG sound.
So this is thing, ing. It's like ing, like sing.
But without an explosive G.
So it's not this one, right?
It doesn't have a.
Because that'd be thin, think.
Think.
So we have to say thing. It's because of the K afterwards.
So it's a longer N.
It's the NGM.
Oh.
It's just the placeholder. It's the nasal end.
Alright,
Well,
where's the G?
all N's are nasal because they're nasals, right?
It's just
There's no G, right? But hun, you don't say think, right? So you can't use this. Okay. Just go. So the ink is because of the K.
Alright.
So remember, for some English words, there's not really good rules for because they're like bastardized versions of French, German. It's like messy. Because you'll run into words that like you could say some kind of rule like that, but then it's not actually going to be real, right? Like encampment. You don't say encampment. You say encampment because it's prefix, right? Yeah. So it's just something to keep in mind. Okay. So we're at I, and then no.
N, O, omega.
No. Not.
No.
So we got whose, woulds, these are, I think, I know. Great. So we got our IPA. Do we need to do anything with syllabification?
No, that's fine.
No, because all the words have one syllable,
Yeah.
right? That's why this poem's kind of actually easy to IPA. Yeah.
The I in think is that the right one? Because
Think.
yeah, because we all say it like think. It sounds
Do you
more
say,
like E.
okay, so if you say it, is it sh? So this is where it gets tricky, right? So I could say, I would argue that it's think because it's before the N, for the ing, and usually that's the tall I. If I say think, it's not that, right? It's think. It's not think. Think.
Yeah. Because it sounds almost.
Okay, so if you say sink or sink,
I say think.
I say
I say
sink.
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 Sink?
I say sink.
So remember, okay, so E and I.
Okay.
Okay, if I say sink, that sounds weird. But sink sounds more right.
Sink. But then it's like sink. To me, it's like.
Sink, yeah.
But
So there's middle ground, right?
yeah.
But it's more towards the tall I.
Okay. Because it like.
If you put the short I, at least you put the short I, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like way wrong, but it's just about accuracy. Just,
Okay.
It
okay.
is if you're driving in something as simple as like me. If you did M, the capital I would be like mid.
Yeah, if you put mid versus me, you'd be like really wrong, right?
Yeah.
So remember that the IPA is a tool for like what we do with the shadow balls and all that stuff, right? That's more important. Okay, so if we were gonna sing this song, where would we want to put? Let's look down the list we had on our homework. Okay, plurals. What plurals do we have? Woods. Yep. That's the only one we got, right? So we need to put a shadow ball after that, especially if it's voiced, right? So we do that in the IPA, like that.
Okay.
I.
So like an X.
Because it's woods it.
Oh, okay.
Who's the wood?
Yes.
Woods to the
Can I put it or?
Woods to the.
No, I didn't ask you to do that for this assignment. So this stuff is for like the songs you're doing for next time and on the test. Okay.
Can we write it here? That way we can remember?
Yep.
On the test, it says name and IPA. My last name is German, I don't know.
We'll figure it out. As long as I know it's you. I just,
Don't worry, we have.
That's like the thing in Diction Feb.
Anderson
yeah, right.
on mine.
It's however you think you pronounce it, okay?
Woods are.
So don't get it wrong.
Woods
Okay, so we got woods, right? And we put our shadow vowel there. Well, then the next thing we have on the list is shadow vowels. Where would we want to put shadow vowels in this? Who's in? I would definitely put one there.
Who's think these?
I would do these in.
Okay, so I'm guessing they just
It's mostly voiced. Because on think, we would put the glottal on I.
I would put another glottal between R and I.
Yeah.
R, I.
Yep, absolutely. I'll space it out better next time. Sorry, guys.
Wait, what is that?
So we get the glottals. Remember that look like the question marks?
Yeah.
Like R, I. So we just don't go R, I, R, I. We have the glottal, right? You look confused. Okay, so the symbol for glottal is this.
Yeah.
Do you remember what glottals are?
Yeah, it's the thing that separates the words so it doesn't like go together. Like,
Yep.
Okay, just like.
Okay, yeah. So when I write these, I usually put the glottals like not right in there because then it looks like a vowel. So if I put them like this, that's just how I do it. But you can do your own system, okay? As long as it's like there, that helps out. Okay. Do we want? All right. Next on the list we have implosions. So do we all remember what implosions were? Because some of you were confused on the last homework.
Yeah.
So implosions is when you have two consonants that are the same consonants in different words. Like, oh, I can't even think of one. What time? What time? So when I implode it, I do one consonant. What time? Rather than what's time.
What time is it?
Okay. What time is it? Or what time is it? So the implosion is when you only do one consonant. Okay?
That's what Mr. Schneider
Yep.
does.
That's what the implosion is. So that's different. The expressive doubling is when you make a consonant longer so that we bring it out of the texture more. So we could do that with, oh, we don't really have any good ones.
Question.
We could do no.
Oh, I have a good one.
Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic English, do they not do that?
No, we'll talk about that when we get to Mid-Atlantic. Okay?
Okay.
We're just doing American.
I was just wondering if that's what, like when Mr. Schneider says, what time?
You can. He's probably just being really particular about it. So, like, depending on the context, you can use two consonants. Implosion is just a way that you can do it. Because if I'm singing really, really fast, if I'm singing, "What time is it?" What time is it? I can't go. What's the time is it? Then it sounds really weird, right? It's not much of it. Okay.
Is,
Okay. So are we clear? So we got yes.
is there like a certain symbol for implosions?
No. You just get rid of one of the consonants.
So,
So if I had what time? No, this is the WH thing.
oh, okay.
What?
Okay. Alright,
So I have two consonants here, right?
Yeah.
I would just get rid of that one.
So you just give one.
And I would probably write like implosion here, so that when I'm correcting it, I don't have to search for them, because that would suck for me.
Yeah.
So if you make my job easier, I'll be nicer on the grades.
I got you, mommy.
Because I did put in there that you should like point out where they are, I think, in the test. Yeah, if you like circle what you did with the technical add-ons, like the shadow vowels and all that stuff, you'll make it a lot more clear. For me, and that will help me grade it. And you'll also be like, oh, I actually got 20 of them. Okay. So look, so even in this one line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we didn't even finish the list yet. Okay. The implosions, there's no really good place to do implosions in here because we don't have two consonants that are sitting next to each other. Expressive doubling, if we wanted to do like a double N on no, so if I was singing, whose woods these are, I think I know, I would put another N there and put a little colon there. Because remember when we were looking at the vowel length thing, we used the colon sign? So that's how I would annotate that, and I would write expressive double. So I can see it, right? Okay, now we got 6 of them. And then we had the using the and instead of H. So we have whose, but do we think we want to use the ich laut or the ach laut for that? Whose. Whose woods these are, I think I know. I don't think so, mostly because we get this whose woods, and those are really close to each other. And if we went whose woods, we'd mess up what it sounded like. And the texture of the piece would determine if we did that too, right? So if I was singing like, whose woods these are, like on some big high note, I would maybe want to do it, but not so much when I'm just reading the poem. Yeah, right. And because we have the tetrameter that's going on underneath it, we have to keep that in mind, right? Whose woods these are, I think I know. Okay. So that was one line, and we got 6 of those things on there already, right? So I don't think finding 20 of them on the test is going to be very difficult. Okay. Cool. Let's do the next line. No. It also says in there you have to do at least 2 of each one.
Okay.
And I made sure I picked poems that had 2 of each one. So don't come saying you can't find it. Okay, great. His house is in the village. Oh. Alright, so let's do it. What do we got?
H.
H. Ooh.
I.
Capital I. Z.
H. A. Horseshoe.
Is it the?
H. You can, how you want to say it. If you want to say house or house, the darker, brighter. You can have the hat one too. House. Is it an S or a Z? S, because we never say house, right?
Houses.
So there are also like exceptions that trump all of those, right? Which is why you can use the dictionary. Yeah.
We say house when we say houses, though, right?
Yep.
So
Because
it's plural.
it's the ES plural.
Yeah.
Are you saying we don't say houses?
Houses. I mean, some people say houses,
They're wrong.
but I don't know. So, but the thing is, when we look at the IGA, we have to make those decisions about how we're going to say it, right? That's why this is important. It's not important whether it's like 100% right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? So if I look at it and you've got like under house, that's going to be wrong, right?
What is that?
That's ire, like fire.
Oh.
Okay, house is
I.
in
In.
the
O-E, or what do you call it? Yeah.
So it can be that one or this
Oh
one.
man, that's wrong.
Because the is not a very important word, so you can use the small schwa for it. Because it's never going to be important. There is like some chapter somewhere that talks about that.
So if I use the little e, it's okay.
So if this was a stressed word, I would definitely want you to use that. His house is in the village, though. Then we would definitely want to use this. But because it's unstressed, in the poetic structure, we can use that one. Okay? Okay, village.
V.
Vid. Ooh, right? Now what do we do?
The upside down E,
Yep.
and then the D, and then the J.
Why wouldn't it be
Village.
like, yeah. I use the little eyes. Yeah,
So
I use
nice.
the
For here?
Yeah. But I just.
Okay, so this was something I did want to talk about too with this one. Okay, I would use the schwa because we can have schwas that sound like ah and eh and I. Okay, village, because it's unaccented. So if it's in an unaccented syllable and it's just like an I or an eh or an ah, I would really consider using the schwa. Okay, village, because I don't say village. That sounds more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds more. So, in doubt, if you know that it's an unaccented syllable, I would go with the schwa. And when you're singing it, you don't want to sing village. You want to sing village, right? So like there was like an IPA book I read somewhere that they would do this and then put like that above it, and that gets like so convoluted.
Well.
So okay. So we have this, but we also have to put that it's in our stressed and then separate the syllable, right? So we know how that works. I want you to do that in your assignments too. And when you make sure you always start a syllable with the consonant. So this ends with the vowel and this one starts with the consonant. If you have multiple consonants, you can split them up kind of how you want, but really like think about where you would think about placing it in the music. Yeah.
For expressive doubling, does it have to happen at the beginning of a word? Because in one of my pieces, Out of My Dreams, it has the hush of falling shadows, and I was wondering if the SH could be expressive doubling.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yep. Especially on that kind of word.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time you wouldn't find it, but on hush you would.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it has to be around like a stressed syllable and everything. Remember, there's not a lot of rules, but okay. Then we get to though. Okay. His house is in the village, though. Good. So let's go through our little list. Where's my list go? All right, plurals. Do we have any? Nope. Shadow vowels. We want to put one in his.
His house.
House. I would probably lean more towards the glottal on is. His house is. So like you can, but you can't put a shadow vowel after a unvoiced consonant. Because you don't have it. I wouldn't say house it. Right? So I wouldn't do anything right here, roughly. And this is unaccented. Huh? Is, I would put a shadow vowel. Especially because the next word starts with it. Is in. Is it in?
So would it be glottal, it would just be it?
You can do glottal if you want
Or
to.
just, so which one?
Is it in? I'm doing both.
Little I N glottal, or the big I?
It's both of them. What?
No, that's like two things.
Yeah. It gets hard, right? Okay, so village.
Village.
I would put shadow vowel here.
No.
And then though, okay. Cool.
Just trying to make it look as good.
So for implosions, do we have any? Nope. Expressive doubling?
No.
His house.
We could do in here if we wanted to. His house is in the village though. So we could do that.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah?
Maybe the hush. You put the semicolon after the brackets or when you're doing IPA?
So IPA is not grammar, right? So you don't need all the commas.
I totally put that in the.
I put it outside the brackets.
I put it inside the bracket because I just wasn't sure. So.
It's okay. I'm not gonna. We're going over it together. I'm assuming that this will be more beneficial than me correcting it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This is what I want to do. Okay, expressive doubling. We did that. What about and? his house. His house. His house.
His house. It's different.
Yeah, so you could do his house. I would maybe do that one. So I could do like a C over here. I think in this case I wouldn't replace it because we get his house, which kind of has the alliteration to it. So that would depend on musical context. Yeah. Make sense, everybody? Okay. Any glaring questions? Debbie, do you have a question?
You lost me at square one, so it's alright.
That's what you can tell is correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's the little cat hissing. Right, the little C, tail.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
The X is. Alright, then next. How much time we got? How are we doing? Let's finish this stanza and then we will look at Shakespeare. Here. Whoops.
Here.
Alright.
Stop it.
He
Stop it.
will
W capital I.
not they're never capital L's.
No, that was just Italian diction.
You did that in Italian diction?
I never took it.
Yeah, she said that in Italian diction there is no regular L, but there's always a.
Oh.
She just said to do it like that so she could differentiate between.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I do it that way.
You're gonna count as wrong.
Not.
There we go.
Okay.
So if we do this, this is not this one. Right? Why is it not that vowel?
That's the one I have trouble with.
It's because of the spellings that we had. Like cough and ought and those ones. Remember, it's the way we spell it. Yep. Off. Boss.
What about right now? Just a minute and feet.
That's not one of the spellings.
Yeah, what number is this?
Okay, so if it,
Off.
Okay. If it's not obvious, I would probably go more towards not. But the other thing is you get to use dictionaries so you can look them up. Other thing there. You get to look at your book, right? So use that. And we don't say not, right? They say, that's how they say it in British diction. Not. Not.
Okay.
Nah. Okay. See?
S-I.
S-I lowercase.
Yeah. Me. Stuffing.
S-T-A.
open O.
Nope.
D.
I tried.
S-T-A. Capital I. N.
And then
Right.
Indian.
Enya.
Or the E. Stop E. E. Or the here. And then here.
Stop.
Why is it a capital I?
Why is it a capital I?
Because it's the diphthong.
Dang it, down these stones, bro.
Okay. Awesome. Any questions on this?
Too
Too many.
In the here, I got H-I.
So it's with, because the R's at the end, it's going to be with the shadow vowel. Okay? Yeah.
I see the not being an A instead of an open O, but I don't see stopping being an A.
the same vowel.
It doesn't-
Not stop.
It's not when I speak it though, because I say
Okay.
stop, like.
So, this is hard,
Yeah.
right? We all speak with regionalisms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we can't get away from that. So we have to remember that the way we speak or the way that we like interpret something isn't necessarily what's gonna follow our idea, okay? And the reason we're wanting to do American Diction is we wanna standardize how our words sound so that the most people can understand what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
And so if I say stopping, I'm gonna sound British. Stopping. Stopping. Right?
Yeah.
So British people we're gonna learn this, but they make their vowels a shade darker than all we do with the ahs especially, so they would say stopping
Stop it.
rather than stopping. We say stopping, right? So,
Okay.
and if you wrote the open O, it would look like that's what you were trying to do, right? Because that's a different tongue position than the A, right? Okay, we all got that? Great, so where can we put shadow vowels, all that technical cool stuff?
After will?
Will not. I would love that one. He will not see me stopping here.
Really not. If you have one, you know, stopping, no, stopping.
Stopping here? Yeah, I'd put one there.
Alligator.
Take that.
And then the substitution thing, the
Here? Yep. That would probably be a good one.
at the end, so it's not like too harsh.
It's an accented word,
Yeah.
right?
That.
He will not see me stopping here.
Yeah.
You would probably really bring that.
Okay.
Because of the iambic tetrahedron, right?
Right.
Yep.
That one right there.
Okay. Feel good, guys? Yeah, so we only get 2 here, really.
I kind of like a broken spectrum.
I think he'd be like, "Go back to your job."
Yeah, a week later.
You still have my
We'll talk about it, Ben. Let's walk.
Watch.
Alright, next line. To watch
Oh, let's watch. It's sexy.
is woods.
Feel. Oh. We.
No, that's okay. I mean,
Okay?
Where are you? Triangle and
To watch his woods fill up with snow. Why is that not with?
Because it's unvoiced.
What's unvoiced? But why is the TH unvoiced? Because it's before an unvoiced consonant. With snow.
Oh,
But if it was with zoo, it'd be with the zoo.
What about up?
so.
Up, because it's an accented word. So, to watch his woods fill up with snow. So I chose to make it the accented schwa.
I put the.
This isn't like wrong.
Sexy you? Yeah.
Sexy.
I put the sexy you. It's with the horseshoe.
The you, where are you? I where are you?
That would have been like.
Corny. It was you, Debbie. You came up with it. That's it.
Wait, because like, isn't that one for up? Like up?
Up.
Up? Fill up.
That's a, I don't have a good rule with that. I couldn't mark that wrong. Okay. No. So I would put it as a schwa, because I hear it more as a schwa, and I bet if we looked it up, it'd be more a schwa. Because the is gonna be more like put.
I did look
Yeah.
at
It would be
that.
Yeah, it would be up. So it is a schwa.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay. I just had to think through it for a second. Yeah, Ben.
That O in the line through, that's supposed to be TH. Okay.
But it's unvoiced with. And it's unvoiced because we get the unvoiced consonant that comes after it.
Okay, but for what that word then, okay, anyway, let's say the TH is in front, like say the word was that,
Mm-hmm.
is it still being voiced?
No, that'd be voiced because you don't say that.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay. We all got that? Okay. Great. Are you guys doing well with this on your sheets? Did anybody have like a, huh? I don't know, I can see it.
It's like,
Weird N is
The like thing?
Trust me, I've looked.
Okay. You just have to think, it's gonna be like in think and sing and things like, it's usually NG.
So everything is like.
Yeah, that's the N. Okay. You have that in Italian. They have it. Like,
I just know it's Italian.
oh.
Yeah. So I mean, this is my first.
Oh, that's okay.
other than that, foundation was being like,
Okay, we all doing okay? Okay, good. So I don't want you guys to worry. So when you do your IPA for your songs, do them informed, and we're going to look at them in class, and we're going to fix things that we think are wrong with them. Okay. So remember that the reason you do it is so that you can make the diction work in your music, right? It's that we have that goal in mind. It's not making sure that we have up or you for up. You know, like we can.
Base our IPA and how we say it, not how we sing it, right?
You base your IPA on how the words are supposed to be sounded, like by everybody,
You know how we
not the way you
talk
say
and we
it,
sing
right? Okay, so it's not a person. I know people always get like
Yeah.
up in arms about that, but it's about like how it is said by the population. Yeah.
Speaking of like how we say things differently, like how would you IPA the word caramel?
Caramel.
Like caramel. People say it differently, so like.
So I would look it up in the dictionary and see what it says, and then it might have. So there are some words like pecan has like 3 different
Pecan.
acceptable
No,
pronunciations. Well, some people say pecan. That's like acceptable. You can say pecan, pecan. Pecan. So there's a bunch of different ways you can like accept it. But you also have to remember that when you're choosing that, you're choosing
So anyway.
a dialect or a character or something like that. So if you're like the Queen of England and you're talking about pecans, you're not going to say pecan. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's what, and you have to show that in your IPA or your understanding of it, right? So the IPA is a tool. It's not a dictatorial, this is how you must do things. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like, there's no right or wrong, really. There's just.
I mean, there is, like with the up thing.
Well, yeah, like that, but like.
Yeah. So like there is right or wrong. That the margin of error is a lot smaller than you guys think it is probably. Does that make, do you know what I mean? So there is things where you can like wishy-wash stuff, but it doesn't happen as much as you think it does. Okay, let's do a Shakespeare sonnet I got, okay? Yeah, give them to me at the end of class. A summer's what? Okay, let's do this together. So what should we do? So we're just going to do this in American English, even though Shakespeare was English, in British. Okay. So we're going to go shall. What vowel do we get? Ah. So we've got to make sure we got that hat, right? Because this is a different IPA symbol. Okay, that's We don't want that. That's a French vowel. I.
What about the L?
Oh, sorry. You're right. Come. And I would. This is why I wanted to do the Shakespeare ones.
Giant microbes.
Whoops.
Giant microbes? Yes, this is it.
So it's compare, right? Then we have to show the syllabification like that. Okay. The. Whatever. It can be this. To.
What are you singing? No, because I'm trying to clear.
Hey, this is the,
Mm-hmm.
remember we was talking about them THs
Mm-hmm.
and the circle?
What is
Mhm.
this?
Me and Corinne,
So it's voiced.
oh, okay.
The.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Shall I compare? So I chose to make sure that that was a schwa because it's the unaccented syllable of compare, right? Compare. Instead of come, it's not come, but compare. The, to, one of those options. Different books use different ones. So, summer's day. I did this with the, so I gotta make sure I do this with my syllabification, right? So it's summers, and I have my consonant on the next one. I did because it's not summers, right? Then I would sound Irish. Summer's day. Make sense to everybody?
I'm still.
Why is it that one?
Oh, you're right, sorry.
Oh,
But you have it written wrong in your book.
Oh, okay.
Is that how you have it written?
Yeah.
Because it's opening for the trick on.
I just for some reason put all those little gels on the box instead of a collar.
Yeah, put them up. Otherwise, it makes them look like an ah. Yeah, I think I wrote that in. Okay, we all get that? Anybody have any questions? Who is is anybody mega confused? Mildly confused?
It just throws me off when I see like the periods and the apostrophes. Like, I don't know. It just feels weird.
Which one?
Just
Stress mark.
The stress mark?
the period and the
The
apostrophe.
period, yeah, the period confuses.
I thought
So the period's the syllabification.
oh.
It separates the syllables.
It helps
It's
break
even worse.
Mariana, it helps break the word up so you can see how many syllables there are.
Oh, that's what that was. I was trying to figure out why we wasn't spacing them out, but that's what we didn't like.
What?
This is how you really do it in IPA.
Alright.
Then why did you put it at the beginning of the word?
Because it's summers, it's not summers. So this is the stress syllable, and the period just separates the syllables. So if I had uncomfortable, that has a million syllables, uncomfortable, I go here and like that. I don't need one of the front.
Come.
I'm having trouble with the same with the tail line.
The schwa?
Yeah, like at the end of compare.
So that's the triphthong, where there's an R, so it's A-R-E. And so it's A-E. It's that diphthong with the R at the end.
Oh,
So
wait.
that symbol is like,
It's the art college squash, right?
So, how you
This was like
pronounce
this first homework you did. Was on
yeah,
there.
oh yeah, it's just a lot of information. So that's the art colored schwas, like, that's why it's, does that make hair, like, end of it, is that,
hair?
what syllable does that make?
For this, this is all one syllable. It's pear.
Like, but what does the end do? The end do?
That puts the R on the end. So it's pay with pear. Okay.
Yeah,
Go back and look at the examples of the tryptons and you'll see like right away.
okay.
Like fire and
Professor,
pear. Yeah.
is the one you're doing the same as this one?
No, that's a diphthong. That's the double diphthong one. So that's like anything that ends in ER, like timber. We even have at the end. So this is air, like air. Is that too?
Why does yours, it says hair?
And it's
And it's like.
Do I have it
on the
wrong?
top.
Hey,
Hair, there.
I might be wrong, you guys. Give me one quick second. Yeah, I'm wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no tall I there.
Oh,
Does that make more sense, Sean?
yes.
Okay, sorry, I got it all screwed up. The only triphthong ones are I and ow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
not
yeah, that makes a lot more sense now
Okay.
that the eyes going on.
Oh yeah.
What?
The dot.
Okay, can we do the next line?
No.
That was
I know, but
aggressive.
I'm saying, not, you got one like on the T. Like ain't able to syllables.
Tubble.
Double.
On, come, for, tubble.
Oh, okay, so it's before the T.
Okay. Thou art more.
I don't want. I hate everything.
Okay. Alright, let's all do this together. Okay? Thou, we get voice. Is that one open O? Yep.
Oh, yeah, like four.
Yep. Lovely. What do I do with this I?
Put a line through it.
Line through it. Alright.
Cross your eyes and cut your teeth.
So I could put this dot in front of the V or in between the V and the L.
Why is that?
Because they're two consonants. So I'd say lovely. That's probably how it's spelled. But I could also say lovely.
Why is
So if I wanted to sing like lovely, I would probably put the vly as one syllable in my singing.
why is there a cross T? I mean a cross T.
It's called the barred
Barred
I,
I, that's
and it's the Y endings because we say it darker than normal. We don't say lovely, we say lovely.
Oh, yeah.
no one ever sings on the schwa. That would be
Okay, so we have thou, art, more, lovely, and more temperate. So we have to have this R here because it starts a new syllable.
that she's hotter than summer.
What? You said you put that R there.
Huh?
That face.
So I put
He's
this
like,
R there
like,
because Shakespeare's awesome. Okay, so I put the R there because it starts a new syllable, and we need to start new syllables usually with a consonant. Temperate. Yeah. That's the way I do it. If you didn't do it, I probably wouldn't mark you off, but depends on the
I
context.
thought the thing was the colored schwa.
This is, yep. Because it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
schwa, so it has to be R colored.
It's temperate, I just, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this could also be a schwa too. Temperate. But I just put it as it. Make sense, everybody?
Hang on.
Yeah. What's up?
The schwa and the upside down R are both making the same sound on either side of that.
So we need, I'm going to explain this one more time, guys, okay? We need this R because we're starting a new syllable.
Oh, because if you didn't put it there, it'd be temper and then it instead of it being red.
Temperate.
Yeah.
Rit.
Ritz. Okay, so upside down R is because starting a new.
Yep.
But if it was regular, how would you write it?
Regular what? Like just temper? Just temper would be,
Without
Okay,
period.
cool.
Temper.
okay? I don't want to dwell on that too much because it's not really that important. But people get in arguments about that a lot.
I need to go argue somewhere else.
Okay, should we do a couple more?
Okay.
What if we wanted to put like some shadow vowels or whatever in here? Expressive doubling, blah blah blah.
After art.
Arts, okay, we can't put a shadow vowel after a voice consonant.
Oh, okay.
Because we can't go arts I.
And
Maybe after more.
We can aspirate the T more when we do it, you know, so we can say arts. But we can't really draw that in idea.
and
We can, hang on, sorry. So there are aspirate T's and dentalized T's. In Italian you have dentalized T's, right? You say like tanto instead of tanto, right? So in American we say tanto. So we say art. And so it's not an aspirant, it's just aspirant. That's an adjective. And, yeah, we got that one. That might be the only one we can do. Yeah, okay. You all remember the ones like garot? So if you have a word like that, you can put the R-colored schwa in between. You remember those ones too? We just haven't seen an example of it yet. I want to make sure you remember. Because that was something you all had a little bit of an issue with on your homework.
Why would you put it there?
because I would say grow. Like, they're great, right?
Great.
Using that one is awesome in singing because it links you to your breath and everything. And then I can't actually talk about that because but that I use that like all the time. Every chance I get, I do that.
In the past, you help us a little bit, like a reference guide.
Yeah. The homework in the past is all the like notes from my class. That's what it is. Okay. Alright, so let's do some more. And if you have a question, so if you're going through an IPA unit and you're like, man, I don't remember what that diphthong's supposed to look like, you go back and look, right? You don't just guess, that's where you lose everything. We're still IPAing then, don't pack up yet. Let's do one more line. Unless you all have dying questions.
What happens when we die?
We'll see. Rough.
Find out.
Wins.
What happens when we die?
Do shake.
Shame.
They don't shake, shank, then.
Wait, what is that word? Chic? Wait, go back to shake, please. Please explain.
Check.
What is that?
It's an A that I didn't write right.
Rough winds and shame.
It's a different kind of Shakespeare. See, change the word. That's why diction's important. Okay, rough. What do we start with? Rough. Now what's next?
The A without the A. Yeah.
Carrot.
The A was the A.
Rough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put a line inside it.
And then
Two.
sexy ass.
He gets talking chicken.
Yes, it was. Shut up. That's fair.
That's very true. Not funny. Credit to Avery.
Question.
This, I don't know what it's called, but in the middle of Darling, why don't we just do the upside down R there?
Because we had the R closed schwa. Because we say R. Darling.
R.
It's not like rough. So you can, I will tell you, there are books that will put the R there. And then they'll syllabify it like this. Okay. You'll see that a lot. So there's not something like wrong with that, but we need to have that schwa there. Because we don't say ah, right? Erling. We don't say da, erling. We say darling. So it's about the syllabification of it, right? And so we have our syllable marks. Okay? Where can we put shadow vowels? Yeah, wins it, right?
Yeah. Shake. No.
No, because it's unvoiced.
Oh yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Darling? Buds it? Yep. So then we say, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Right? A bit. Remember, it's it. Otherwise, you sound like you're Italian. Okay? Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. That's what happens if you say where the shadow bows are. Okay?
Yayo.
What did I say?
If you say so if you say like darling no. Okay, so let me just say it, okay? Listen to how it makes it work. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. See how the shadow owls work? They really help you sing a lot, okay? So if we want to do expressive doubling, what might we do? What's like the important word? Shake? Yeah, we can do one on shake. Who said shake? Did you, Jeffy? So all my students still said we can do that one because we can do rough winds do shake. Yeah?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's a double.
Expressive doubling. Expressive doubling. We can also do one on, we could do one on darling. We could. The rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Right. We could also do it on May. I really like that one. Buds of May. Especially because you get the D of May. Now remember, if you're singing this really, really fast, where it's like, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, you have to decide which ones you're going to do and which ones you're not going to do. Otherwise it sounds, the rough winds that do shake the darling the buds of the May. Right? I think it's a little crazy sometimes. Okay. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. If you have any questions, like a specific question that you're not sure about, you can email me about it and I'll try to get back to you. Okay? I'm not like, just because I'm only here one day a week doesn't mean you can't teach me, right? Okay. Yeah. We good? Okay. Yeah, turn all those back into me.
Wait. Thank you.
So we're stapled two of them together, but I only got two of them, I didn't get all three. So because I had the original page, which had the poem on it, I had the one where other page.
Give me what you got.
Yeah, so it's still in the pile somewhere, it's still mixed up.
No, that's just, I'll give it.
What you have?
I don't know.
Yep.
But it's just like, I don't know, so you don't think I only have two pages.
Well, if anybody has any friends that are in this class that did not come today, make sure they get this. I put it on Google Drive and all that, okay?
I got
No.
That is corrected, is that what? Oh, you want a copy? I think people have the extras around. I don't know.
So I
put it on the Google Drive, so it's up there.
It was one
Yeah,
of
take
those
that copy.
issues snap things.
Okay, here we go.
And so my dad just texted me, what is this? And it was just
Everybody got them all?
there were like three. I was about to text him, it's crack rocks. Rocks of crystal meth. Jesus, Dad.
Okay.
Come on, Dad, get together.
Well, it's always been there, it's just more like,
Accelerated, yeah.
basically what you're doing is set this mostly on the left side and then cross. Celestine ended up being next day.
That was today.
Yeah, because I said my mom had to take my little sister for choir. Yeah. Wouldn't have made sense for it to be tomorrow.
No, that's why I was confused.
Dude, I can take it. Somebody's mom's calling. I mean, are you on the way?
Thanks, though.
That's mine. I don't want to that's my class.
Thank you, Mr. Beck.
Thank you.
I did my piano.
stop the video recording, then I can answer questions.
Okay,